morning and a warm welcome on this Saturday morning when I know it's a festive season, and that's why I see people are joining slow. But I can only tell you that uh, today's session is going to be a powerhouse of a session. Now we all know that digital marketing, social media has been growing and taking over everything in last few years. And then this pandemic happened, and pandemic, made social media and digital marketing grow further. Whatever growth which took place in last 5 years, maybe the growth was, much higher in last 1.5 years. Many of us, like Anil said, 60 model, 70 model, many of us, we got introduced to digital marketing and social media very late. Many of us were introduced by our sons and daughters. When they put us on Facebook, we come to know about LinkedIn, then YouTube and everything. Some of us are in business. Some of us are, working in various organizations at critical positions. Some of us may not be doing anything and thinking about retirement, second life. But this part, digital marketing, social media, has become a very, very integral and important part of our life. Right? Buying, connecting, selling. Think about anything. Even this meeting. How many of you use Zoom or social? I think some of us would have used Skype meeting before COVID, but now most of us are sitting on this. So that's how the life is changing. So we thought it's a good idea. I met Nitin Soni, and Nitin has a very interesting story. He's by education is a CA, but this digital marketing and social media bug bit him, and he left his job and become an entrepreneur. And he started building brand for people. And he built brand two ways. One is, of course, digital marketing, social media, his emailer campaigns, his YouTube channel, and his other things are amazing. Apart from that, he also helps people help writing book and publish it. My book, which I shared 2 days back, that's going to come very soon, Bornpreneur to Entrepreneur, is under the consulting of Nitin Jain, because Nitin Soni, because Nitin feels that for brand building, it's not only social media, you should write also. That builds a bigger brand. So the idea of today's session is basically to know what is this all about, digital brand or social media brand, and what happens, what are the do's and don'ts of you for business owners as well as individuals. And then, as usual, you can ask your questions and go ahead. To moderate today's session, we thought let's get another expert who can understand this area well. So we have Vivek. Vivek, we all know, is a 2008 YMCA pass out only, and he is co-founder of Yugasa, which is a technology company. They have created a great chatbot which is making news all the time. So Vivek, if you raise your hand, people can see your face. Nitin, Vivek is going to moderate, ask questions on the behalf of everybody. Nitin, as I shared, this is my college alumni. We have a strong alumni of approximately 6,000, 8,000 people who are connected all over the world. But out of that, around 240 people are part of learner group. And then every week, every alternate week, when we do this session, people join in. We record it, later on share. So generally, we have seen 50, 60 people joining in all session, and they keep pouring in. But we always start on time. When we say 11:10 is time when we start. So Nitish, the stage is all yours. And Vivek, guys, the rules are same. If you have a question, put in a chat box. Vivek will look at those questions. And during the session or at the end of the session, as Nitin wants, Vivek will ask this question on our behalf. At the end, we will have an open 15, 20 minutes open thing also, where you can directly ask questions to Vivek, to Nitin through Vivek, or directly also. So Vivek, all the best, guys. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Thank you so much there. Thank you very much, Asim. Thank you very much, Vivek. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining in today. Well, it's my pleasure to be here. Learners Group sounds pretty amazing. And this session on digital marketing, digital branding, like what we are doing right now is all digital stuff, isn't it? So it makes so much more sense to do a session on digital marketing and digital branding. I guess we cannot really survive without it, right? So whenever just a quick question, like, what do you think when you see people around you, taking their smartphones when they are sitting in their car, when they are in a lift, when they are walking, even when they are doing their morning walks, when they are in metro, when they are in flights, when they're in trains, wherever it is, when you find people looking at their smartphones, so what do you think these guys are doing with their smartphones? Like, what is it that they are looking at? Just give me a guess in the chat box. What do you think these guys are doing when they're having a look in their smartphones? Put it in the chat box. What do you think they must be doing when you see people around you, hooking at their smartphones? what's your guess as to what is it that they'd be doing? Yeah, thank you very much for making me the co-host. Yes, so WhatsApp and what else? I guess I missed some of the chats there, but in case you put them again, then that'd be great. Right? I'm not saying when they're talking to people, I'm saying when they're just looking at their smartphones, what do you think they are doing, right? Most of these people, as you rightly said, Ashish, most of these people, and Vikram, of course, Amrish, thank you very much. They're looking for notifications. They have like billions and zillions of notifications in their smartphones and they're checking them. And most of these notifications are coming in from social media, right? A LinkedIn notification, suddenly somebody has posted this, there's a new story there, somebody has dropped a message on Messenger, and somebody has posted this video, there's some YouTube notification, the people that you have subscribed, the brands that you have subscribed, the individuals that you have subscribed. So most of these people, interesting comments, few of them. So most of these people are actually looking at social media. That's true. I would say majority of them are looking at social media. What is it that they're looking for? Somebody checking their social media accounts in the morning, again doing it after an hour, again doing it after 30 minutes, again doing it. It's like a habit now, isn't it? It's more like a habit. And there's no escape. Like there's nothing. They're in that trap now. In fact, all of us, it's not in our habit now. It's not routine now that we are always hooked on to social media. And of course, emails, I'm including emails in that. Okay. I'm including this email communication from brands in that. That is something that we need to be conscious about. Now, that's a human tendency. And when I say human tendency, your potential customers, your prospects, no matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, they're always on social media. They're always on social media. And it makes so much sense. If I tell you that your prospects, almost all of them, they're always in this, let's say if I tell you all of them, they gather together in this big hall. Let's say if I tell you that, then it makes a lot of sense, right? It makes a lot of sense for brands to be there and to advertise and to communicate with people in that space when everybody is coming together. Now, over the last couple of years, social media has grown big and bigger, thanks to something that happened 2020, right? Pandemic has happened. Data shows, research shows, and a lot of studies that were done, a lot of these social media platforms, they've grown multifold. YouTube, let's say, for example, grew amazingly well. TikTok was performing incredibly well in India when this ban happened. And all of these brands, YouTube and Instagram and LinkedIn, all of them capitalized on it. And right now, all of these social media platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, they are bigger than what you and me can together even imagine. And these platforms are worth billions and billions of dollars. And imagine that all of us are free, like absolutely free. They don't charge anything to us. YouTube doesn't say you've got to pay me something to start a channel. LinkedIn and Instagram, they don't say before you put a video, you've got to pay this subscription fees. The answer is no. So imagine that these platforms worth billions of dollars available to us for free to reach out to our prospective customers. And all we have to do, just imagine, all we have to do, post something. Something what? Post something, doing a morning walk. You like to see, there's a butterfly sitting on a flower. You like it, click that picture, put it on social media. People are going to love that, right? You come across a quotation, you like it, put that quotation on social media. People are going to like it. Yeah. You have a message, you want to say, hey, happy Dussehra. You shoot a video, put that on social media. People are going to like it. You have some update, you got to put that on social media. People are going to like it. What is social media? What is digital branding? What is this digital marketing? It simply means that you got to be there on social media. When? Morning, evening, afternoon, night, all the time. What do you mean all the time? You want me to give up on my life, on my personal life? No. See, the point here is there's a lot of tools that are available for scheduling things. So you can sit down one day, you can sit down on Saturday, on Sunday, any day when you are off, and have all of these posts and all of these stuff together and start scheduling them for your social media so that you relax over the week. But there are posts, there are updates, there are other stuff. There is your brand communication is feeding into the mind of your prospects, of the people who may not even be your prospects today, but just might be tomorrow, right? You never know. The demographics, they keep changing. So today I may not be your target audience. Tomorrow I might just be. but you got to be on social media, right? And you got to catch them young. You got to catch them early. That's very important. Okay. So a lot of people, I was having this discussion with one of my friends and I asked him, what's your target audience age group like? And he said, it's 24 to 45. And I said, what sort of people are you targeting? He said 24 to 45. And I said, no, start with 20. Catch them young, feed your brand's messages and your brand image in their mind, even before they are in that 24 age group. That made sense to him because it's even cheaper. It's even easier. So here is my point to you. See, there's no way that any brand today, any brand who is somewhat relevant to people out there can survive or grow without their solid presence on social media. So today's session, what my intention here today is, I'm going to share with you some of the things that you should be doing around your social media, some of the platforms that you should be targeting, okay, as a brand, some of the platforms that are easy. It's pretty easy. You don't have to spend money on ads even on those platforms. If you're just active and you're just consistent with your approach on these platforms, you're going to get results. Right? Make sense? Now, before I really move ahead, what I'd like to do is, I'd like to know from some of you, what are some of your expectations from this time that you're investing in this session and the time that you're spending with me in this program? Put in the chat box, some of you, if you can, and want to share with me. What are the things that you would like to take out of this session? What are the things that you would like to learn? What are some of the things that you would want to get out of this particular time that we are spending together, discussing about digital branding, discussing about social media? Put it in the chat box. I'd love to see that. Now, that's going to set few things right. That's going to set the expectations right. And you can also have this as an opportunity to get answers to some of your burning questions around social media, isn't it? Yes, keep putting there. I like what you're putting there. Amrish and Vivek, same. That's okay. What next level of social media? How to leverage? Go ahead. Yogendra says that. What else? What else? What's there in your mind as far as social media is concerned? Put it in the chat box. Okay, great. That's again a good question. What else? Okay, with the best way of branding, how to do it more efficiently, says Vikram. Yes, keep putting that in the chat box. Keep putting that in the chat box while I share my screen. Okay, just give me a confirmation typing in yes that you can see this blank black screen in the center of your screen there. Just type in yes. Okay, great. Thank you, Bhushan. Right, so this is all digital. Okay, we're just going to call it all digital stuff that we do. See, what is digital branding? I'll tell you. This digital branding, this keyword, it's very closely interlinked with this keyword, which is digital marketing. Okay. Now you must be thinking in your mind, what is the difference, Nitin? What is the difference? You mean digital branding, digital marketing? Aren't they the same thing? Well, you know, digital marketing is basically focused towards products. Digital marketing. So I have a product and I want to promote that product. I want to sell more and more. I focus on digital marketing on that product, around that product. What is digital branding? This is primarily for brands. Digital branding is that you brand all your social media communications in such a way that enhances your brand value, that it gives your potential customers and your customers a recall value. The moment they see, they know it's from your brand. The moment there's a post, there's a communication, they know they have this recall. They're able to recall this is from this brand. This is and a lot of times people very loosely connect both of these things because they indeed are, right? Now, what are the things that are included? What are some of the things that are a part of digital branding and digital marketing? Of course, see, social media. Social media. When we say social media, we are referring to all of these platforms, right? We are referring to YouTube, we are referring to Instagram, we are referring to Twitter, and we are referring to Facebook. And of course, LinkedIn. These are all the social media platforms, right? What are some of the things that you need to do? What are some of the things, all the activities that you do on these social media platforms, like all the activities? Now, what I want to tell you is, now Google, of course, is a part of it, right? Social media. Now, here is the thing. I want to ask a question here. When we talk about social media, when we talk about postings, tell me who is the #1 social media expert in the world? Any guesses? Like who's the, and put that in the chat box, like who is the world's #1 social media expert out there? Any guesses? This guy who is tremendously grew his business, became world's #1 social media expert. Any guesses? Neil Patel is right up there, but that's not the name. Anybody else that comes to your mind? The answer is Gary Vaynerchuk. His name is Gary V. How many of you have heard his name? Type in me in the chat box if you can. Gary V. Gary Vaynerchuk is the name. He's an author. Absolutely there, Asim. Thank you. So Gary, he said something interesting. A question was asked to him in one of the sessions that he was doing, and it was asked, if you could just tell me how many posts do you want us to do as far as our digital branding and digital marketing is concerned? How many posts do you want us to put on LinkedIn and social and Facebook and Instagram and all of that? Any guesses what is the number that he would have said? Any guesses if you want to put it in the chat box? Let's do this communication. Like, it's very important that we communicate. So I'm speaking, if you could, yes, Vikram. So you say 10, as many as you can say the same. Yeah. So he said, and everybody had was like, huh? The moment he said that, and the video is right there on YouTube in case you want to see that, he said 100. He said, 100 posts a day. Now we have 24 hours, right? And as I said, schedule. You don't need to wake up at night to do this. You can schedule. He said 24 hours. Yeah. 24 hours, 24 posts to by default karni hai every hour. Isme to koi doubt hi nahi hai, right? And he said, if you can post every 30 minutes, that's going to be amazing. And you can combine them across social media. So 100 posts is a benchmark. If you're taking notes, in case you are, benchmark that Gary Vee, one of the world's top social media expert, gave to the world. He said, try 100. The next question that came his way was, are you posting 100 pieces of content every day? His answer was, any guesses? His answer was, no, I am not. He said, unfortunately, I'm not. We are somewhere between 70 to 80, but we're inching towards 100. Because you asked what's the benchmark, I said 100. That indeed is. He said, we are inching towards 100. And he said, in times to come, in future, this might just increase. And somebody said, why do you think 100? It's a big number. Do you want us to keep doing that all day? His answer was, somebody said, this is what you want us to do all day. I have a job. I have some work. He said, this is your work, dude. That's your work. He said, your customers, your potential customers are all the time on social media, checking updates, looking for notifications to such an extent that they have this habit now. If there is no notification, they panic. If there's something wrong with my phone, I got to be checking if the internet is on. If my phone is doing fine, there's no notification. Are you getting me? Give me a smiley in the chat box if that brings a smile on your face. That people are indeed, they sometimes panic there if there is no notification to such an extent. So he said that you got to be feeding them. They said you got to be feeding them with your content. Are you getting me? He said you got to be feeding them with your content. It's extremely, extremely critical because they're always looking for it. And if you're not active, what you're doing is you are giving your competitor, some other brand who would be a little more attentive, little more aggressive on social media, then that's going to be missing there. Asim, please.
Yeah, Nitin, so I have just a small question here. In fact, it's a clarification question because, so you said there is one thing called digital branding and there's another thing called digital marketing. Now this posting 100 or posting as many as, because I've read and I've seen Gary's videos, is it your context is branding or context is marketing? Because if somebody is posting so much, the content could not be very good all the time, number one. Number two, it may look like that this person has no work than this.
Asim, this is a question that is asked almost every time, that if I keep doing this, that is the first thing that people around me will think. This guy is free. He has no work. I mean, look at him. He's like posting it all day, all the time. See, we have
the way people at WhatsApp who respond very fast, we feel khali baitha WhatsApp pe baitha sara time. And you are asking us to go every 15 minutes on social media and post something.
Yeah,
I understand for digital marketing when you have to make people buy some product, but for branding, is it true?
Yes, I'll tell you. So see, when we say digital branding, all of the posts and all of the communications that are happening on the social media platforms, there is a brand element to every single one of these posts. Your brand logo, your brand color, the way you communicate, your brand ambassadors, the influencers that you are tied up with. So all of the posts that you are putting on social media, if you have to put an umbrella of digital branding on it, the logo, the color combination, and all of these things, they have to be tied up together. So the postings that we'll be doing will be keeping the digital branding element in our mind. Okay, that is one thing. Second, that you said that people will think, are we like free? Are we like free to do this? See, the point that we have to keep in our mind is, let's say one segment of our target audience, one segment may be active in the morning. Some of them may be active at night. Some of them may be active in the afternoon. Some of them may be active in the evening. But all of them are active at different time during the day. And it is important in digital branding and marketing sphere that we keep feeding our target audience. We keep feeding them whenever they are available. And when we are feeding them, one more question that you could be asking is, what sort of content? They might just tomorrow may not be interested with what we are putting on social media. They might say that these are the irrelevant posts. That is where the job of the team comes in, the digital branding and marketing team. Every single piece of the content and communication that we are doing on social media, it should have some element of virality into it. When we say virality, it should be something like people willing to share. Something like people willing to share. For example, some quotations. For example, some messages. For example, some coupon codes, some discounts, some offers, some news, something related to these things. When we post, it has a bit of a virality element in it that people love to share it with their family and with their friends, right? Now, moving ahead with this. Now, when we say putting these many posts on social media, sometimes it scares a lot of people. It scared me when I heard that for the first time. And it is practically impossible for all the brands to do that. Keeping 100 in mind, if it seems scary, if it seems too much, target 50. If you say 50 is too much, target 25. But he said, as somebody rightly said in the chat box, post as many as you possibly can. And do not be trapped into that comfortable zone. So we are comfortable posting 3 posts a day. No, you got to get out of that. Very, very important. Okay. Now, on social media, there is a trend. There is a trend. And the trend is short videos. Short videos. Now, over the past couple of years, this social media has also evolved. Like ever since this TikTok was banned. Let me see the chat box. No, Ashish, see, I tell you, it doesn't happen. Practically, it doesn't happen. So whatever studies that are being done, it has been proved that when you are posting meaningful, relevant element with that virality angle into it, no unnecessary stuff, then people are definitely interested. Okay. It might just put off 1% or 2% people, but most of the people are always, in fact, if people stop posting, and if they stop posting enough content, then people have this in their mind, if you're still alive, if this brand is still working, I hope the brand is still on, right? So this also happens. So if we are posting too less content on our social media, either we're going to be out of the mind of people, number one. Number two, they might just think that this brand it doesn't exist anymore. So we have to be kind of aggressive in our approach on social media. Okay, we have to keep that in mind. One angle we are always looking for is that it might just piss off few people and they may not like it. But on the other hand, we have to understand that there's a big chunk of people who'd be on social media at that time, may not be able to see our posts. And when they're consistently not seeing our posts at one particular time a day, they might believe that the brand is either going down, or the brand is not working well, or there's something wrong with the brand, or the brand's image might just go off people's mind. Okay. When you say too many posts may piss people off, you also have to look at the other angle that I just mentioned. Now, moving ahead, short video format. See, ever since this TikTok thing happened, short videos, it just caught people by surprise, all of the people. Now, when TikTok was banned, YouTube and Instagram, these two platforms, they were very active and attentive to concentrate on this short videos format. YouTube said, I'm going to call it shorts, and Instagram said, I'm going to call it reels. And these two, these two platforms, YouTube and Instagram, ever since there was this ban that was imposed on TikTok, they've grown amazingly well, beyond their own expectations, especially in a country like India. Even the numbers that they saw, even they were surprised. And there are a lot of reports on this in the media as well. Now, shorts and reels, it gave incredible opportunity to brands. Okay. It gave incredible opportunity to brands. What opportunity? The opportunity is, whenever we think about creating content, earlier we used to think long videos. Earlier we used to think that long videos would need time in editing, would need time in creating, and that's what we need to post. Now, with this short video format, the opportunity that's there is that the content that you're putting on social media platforms, this content, these pieces of content can be as many as possible. Why do I say that? And Nitin, can you define when you say short videos? What do you mean short videos? The time frame, recommended time frame, 15 seconds. Now imagine 15 seconds pieces of video content going on your social media is something that these social media platforms, these social media platforms like YouTube and Instagram, the more and more short pieces of content that you put on these social media platforms, the more you put on these social media platforms, the less need there is to advertise. So when this content, 15-second videos, goes up with, of course, proper hashtags and with proper titles, the lesser you will find the need to shell more money, spend more money on advertising. Why? Because these platforms are themselves promoting short videos. And this probably is the best time. Because right now, both of these brands like YouTube and Instagram, if you want to make a note of it, you have to make a note that if you want to focus, let's say there's Twitter, there is Instagram, there is Facebook, there is YouTube, and there is all of these social media platforms. If you were to concentrate, if you were to focus on some of these brands, I would recommend that you focus on these two platforms specifically, Instagram and YouTube. These are the two platforms that you have to seriously focus on. Facebook, the entire audience which was there on Facebook, it has now shifted onto Instagram. The entire audience that was there on TikTok, now this entire audience has now shifted onto either Instagram or on YouTube, primarily on YouTube, right? So you have to just see that whenever you're concentrating on some platforms, if you want to apply that 80-20 rule, I urge the brands and I urge people here to focus on YouTube and focus on Instagram. These are the two platforms that are right now promoting their own stuff, the content that you're putting on these platforms. Now, at this point, if you have any question, I'll be happy to take. And if you want to put that in the chat box, I'll be glad. If there's any specific questions on what we have said or what we have discussed so far about short videos, putting short videos, putting as many content as possible on social media, I'm going to take that. Asim, I would need 1 second here.
Okay. Guys, if you have a question at a relevant session, I think it's a good idea to put on the chat box and Vivek can combine questions and ask. Like I have a question, so Vivek, I have put in.
Yes, sir. I have noted that down.
Yeah.
So I'll ask it in the end. Is that fine?
Yeah. So guys, what happens when you do a program like this, which is one-day program, we can sign that it is 90 minutes. It's important to ask questions in your mind so that you get relevant information out of it. Now, Nitin, one question which came to my mind while you're talking about that, although I've already mentioned in the chat box to Vivek, but still I thought, I'll ask here because you talked about advertising, you talked about brand building. So there is a big difference between a B2B organization and a B2C organization. and many of us here are, in B2B organization. So how do we see that on social media and digital brand building?
Okay, that's a great question, I should say. So whenever we are, let's say we are B2B organizations, where are their founders? Where is their leadership? What are some of the platforms that they're spending time on, right? The decision makers, all of us, like I believe all of us are decision makers in the leadership teams of our respective brands and the companies and organizations that we are running. Are we not on social media? Are we not spending time on social media? Are we not following? Are we not looking at our competitors on social media? Are we not looking at what sort of posts that they are putting? The answer is yes, we are. As individual, who are these people who are running these organizations? B2B, individuals. What is social media? Individuals, right? So here, my point here is, even if we are B2B or even if we are B2C, this social media thing is so inherent because ultimately everything is driven by individuals. All of us, all the decision maker, all of them have social media accounts. All of them are always, in fact, indeed are on social media, right? Your approach may change. When you are a B2C or B, your approach might change a little bit, but it is inherently, definitely a part, this social media thing.
What is the change in that approach?
Yeah.
That's what exactly my question is.
Yeah. So change in that approach, right? You may want to focus a little bit more when you are, let's say you are a B2B organization. You may want to focus a little bit more on a platform like LinkedIn, wherein the decision makers are primarily hanging out, not necessarily on Instagram. Then you might have to change your approach. See, I'm a B2C organization. My people, my target audience, my decision makers are spending more time on LinkedIn. And when we identify that, we got to be focused. We got to be shifting gear. We're going to be saying, right, Instagram, no, I'm going to be focusing more on LinkedIn. So then you go to LinkedIn, you post more, then you create more content. Again, now, when I said YouTube and when I said Instagram, LinkedIn as a social media platform is not far behind. When you post anything meaningful on LinkedIn, your videos, your content, whatever it is that you post, LinkedIn is also promoting the content all by itself. It is completely gone in Facebook. Like when we compare Facebook and LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram, Facebook and YouTube, we can see Facebook is not at all promoting whatever content is there that people are posting on its platform. But LinkedIn, man, it is promoting. So to answer your question, we got to just changing the strategies, maybe focusing on some of the social media platform. In this case, that's going to be LinkedIn, right? Now, there are a few more questions I believe that we need to post good quality content on social media. Anil Kumar has asked this question, which is, what is the hardware that we need to post good quality posts on social media? Well, I believe today, a lot of these gadgets, especially this one, the one that we keep in our pocket almost all the time, is very powerful. Is very powerful. And I was reading one day that this is more powerful in terms of whatever stuffs that are there and all of that. It's more powerful than the rocket that went to moon, the first rocket that went to moon. If you Google that, there was this comparison that was done. It was mind-boggling. So the gadget or the hardware or anything that we're talking about, I believe this thing that we have in our pocket all the time is way more powerful than what you and me can imagine. We can create amazing content with this. Amazing content, especially if you are an iPhone user, of course. Then you can use this one gadget to create whatever content that you need to create, edit that content, post that. You, your team, whoever, right? Okay, Rajesh Katyal, your question, which social media platform to avoid? You can primarily avoid Facebook unless and until you are spending money. If you're interested in spending money, Facebook is still alive. Otherwise, you can avoid Facebook. Focus on Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Interesting questions are coming up. So I'll just take a few more questions here. So Amrish Bhatti has asked this amazing question. He says, as a novice, like I have no idea, I've never done this before. I am new to social media. What do you want me to do then? All you have to do, create an account and start posting. All of these social media accounts were created by these brands, organizations, and the people who are owning these social media platforms. They know this. They know that these social media platforms are not for technical people. This is for common people. This is like people like you and me. This is for young people. This is for old people. This is for people who are busy. This is for people who are free. This is for people who have no idea about anything technical. They know that very well. But they know one thing for sure. If you own a smartphone, you would definitely install some apps. Even if it is your net banking, even if you do some net banking with your phone, even if it is WhatsApp, they know this. When they created these social media platforms, they created it with an understanding that no technical person is going to be using it. Let's talk about YouTube for a second. What is YouTube? YouTube is a platform where you shoot videos, you edit them, and you put them. When YouTube was launched, like nobody was editing videos. But today, almost everybody knows how to edit a video. Just imagine for a moment. So these brands they knew this thing for a fact that these people are not technical. They might struggle shooting videos, editing them, all of that. But look at what has happened today. Why? Because it's so damn easy to learn these platforms. I guarantee you, lock yourself up in a room, spend 30 minutes on any of these social media platforms. You'll have whatever working knowledge that you need to start working on these platforms, start posting on these platforms. Is just a matter of spending 30 minutes with one social media platform. Okay, social media present, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, but don't really have strong business. What can benefit from this? Any ideas? But don't have. So Amit says, I have a very unique question. He says, I have a decent social media platform, approx 30,000 Instagram. That's incredible. Approx 3K on YouTube, but don't really have a strong business which can benefit from this. Any ideas, Amit? Affiliate marketing. Here is, indeed, he's an influencer. So man, you are an influencer, first of all. And what is it? How influencers make money? So if you have a decent social media following, but no business, then what you need to do is you need to get into affiliate marketing. What is affiliate marketing? Well, there are other people who are running businesses. They have created amazing products. You got to just identify what product on a platform, let's say, for example, like Amazon. Go to Amazon. There are millions of products. You go to Amazon and you say, my target audience might just be interested in this product. Let me give you my example, right? So let's say if I have a 30,000 following on Instagram and I create reels and I put content and I use this mic, all I need to do is go to Amazon, become an affiliate for free. And since I'm already using this, all I have to do is grab an affiliate link, put that on my Insta, and I need to tell people that's the mic that I use, guys. Somebody asked this question to me, so I'm just answering it. That's the mic that I use. In case you are interested, here's the Amazon link. By the end of the day, you'll have a couple of orders. And for a mic like 10, 15,000 like this, what will happen? You'll end up having money in your bank. So this is what happens. When you do not have a business, you capitalize on other people's business and their products by becoming an affiliate. Amit, that's the answer to your question, right? Okay. Ashish says there are so many social media agencies out there, SMM, SEO, how to choose or evaluate. Just how people evaluate your products. How? Testimonials. That's one thing. You have to look for testimonials. Number two, whatever brands that they're operating with, just go and Google the brands. Just go and see those brands on social media. If you see that there are enough followers, number one. Number two, are these followers also interacting with the everyday posts? Now, that's a very crucial statement that I just said. I said, it's not just enough for people to have so many followers on social. I have 1 million followers on social media, on Instagram, let's say for that matter. That's not important. How many of these 1 million followers are engaging with me on the posts that I'm putting? If they're not engaging with me, that means they're either they are fake followers. Number two, they are not the target audience. They're not the real target audience for that brand. So whenever you are evaluating an agency, you always have to look for testimonials and the brands that they're currently working with and see those brands on social media. How well these brands are performing. How well these brands, the posts, how many posts are there and how people are interacting with the posts, how many followers are there as well. That is something that you got to be doing, but you'll only be able to evaluate once you are, if not an expert, at least somebody who uses social media fairly well. Okay. I asked you, I guess I've replied to your question, Rajesh. Is there a limit of putting pics and videos on of our company's products? There is no limit as such, Yash. Corporate account on YouTube and digital marketing for our products. Yash, it is absolutely free. All the social media platforms give you the permission to create your accounts for free. Individual accounts, corporate accounts, brands accounts, all of that is free. Okay, great. So that covers almost all the questions. Now, moving ahead. So I said short videos is what you need to focus on. If you are a brand owner, if you're there on social media, one thing that you got to take out of this session, is that you got to be focusing on short videos. When I say short videos, YouTube might give you the option to put a 60-second video. Instagram might also do that. Focus on 15 seconds. If you are unable to grab the attention of your target audience in 15 seconds, then even 60-second videos is not going to be of any use. That's number one. Number two, there's something known as hashtags. You go to Instagram and you just type IPL winner or just type IPL 2021. Type hashtag IPL 2021, IPL winner 2021. The moment you click on the hashtag, all the latest posts related to that particular topic will come up right in front of you. Now, almost all the users on these social media platforms, be it YouTube, be it Instagram, they are following hashtags. What are these hashtags? Some keywords that you feel your target audience would be following, right? For example, let's say there's a brand that is selling baby products. So this keyword in itself, baby products in itself, or baby videos, is in itself something that these brands should be targeting as far as hashtag is concerned. Okay, so whenever you are putting any piece of content on social media, you got to be putting hashtags. If you have any specific questions around hashtags as well, I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. There's one simple strategy to grow on LinkedIn, on YouTube and on Instagram. That is to use the right hashtags. When you use the right hashtags that are relevant to your target audience, bang on. You might just see that you put a video out there, 15-second video, and by the time you check your phone again, you have 2,000, 3,000 people already seen that video. And boy, you even do not have 500 followers. Where are these viewers coming from? They're coming from your hashtags, because people are following hashtags and always looking for something new that is being posted on that particular hashtag. Type in MS, that means make sense. If what I said is making sense here, type in MS in the chat box. That'd be great confirmation. And if you have any specific questions around hashtags as well, I'll be happy to answer your questions. And with this, we will move on to a few other stuffs that I want to share with you. Great. That's thank you very much. Let's say if you are already on social media, you can also share with me what are some of the challenges that you are facing, or that you have faced, in case there is something that I can talk about that. Hashtags, he says, please explain. Hashtags are basically, she says, should there be any limit to hashtags? Yes, there is limit. There is limit. I believe on Instagram, there's about 30 hashtags, I believe, that you can put. So I suggest anywhere between 20 to 30 hashtags per short video. That'd be great. Okay. Now that also gives us the opportunity to target multiple hashtags. Right? I've just answered your question, Ashish. So that also gives us opportunity to target multiple hashtags. For example, just giving an example, IPL, which is, yes, indeed, hashtag is a keyword. So I'll just give you an example, say IPL winner. So let's say if you are putting a post and you're just congratulating, say, hey, congratulations to CSK for winning yet another IPL. That's a 15-second quick video. And then what do? Then you quickly put those hashtags. Hashtag number 1, CSK. Hashtag number 2, IPL. Number 2 and number 3, CSK versus KKR, right? Number 4, IPL winner. So this, number 5, MS Dhoni. And this way you can keep putting those hashtags that are relevant. If you, what you can also do is, you can also see if these hashtags that you are putting, if there are enough people who are following those hashtags on these social media platforms, you can see that. So the moment you type hash and then you type IPL, the platform is going to suggest a lot of hashtags to you. So you can pick those hashtags from the suggestions as well, right? Okay, so that gives, I believe, a bit of clarity on hashtags. That gives a clarity on Instagram. That gives clarity on short video formats. Very important.
So,
Yes,
Nitin, so
yes,
Nitin,
Asim.
what happens when you put, you said you put hashtag CSK and you put message and all. So what happens with that? So anybody who's using that hashtag, my they see there is a chance they see my post also,
Yes.
or is it in a depository where this hashtag is there? How does it happen? So how
Okay.
does it benefit me?
Yeah, how does it benefit us? It benefits us in a way that people are following some hashtags, and when they're following these hashtags, any new content that's published on that social media platform with that hashtag will come right on top. So let's say, for example, I'm following IPL, hashtag IPL. So the moment I click on hashtag IPL, anybody who has posted a latest piece of content with that hashtag IPL, I'm going to be seeing his content. And if that content is it, I might end up following that person, right? So this is how it actually helps. And hence you need to use the right hashtags. So Shruti's question here is that how can we boost LinkedIn? Well, the question is not pretty clear, Shruti. If you can explain the question, do you get anything if you are first to create a hashtag? Arun Singh, do you gain anything if you are the first one to create a new hashtag? Well, the answer is no. You do not gain anything as such, because that means that people are not following that hashtag. Nobody is actually following that hashtag, right? Unless that keyword, not the hashtag, but the keyword is in trend. Anything, let's say, for example, when Neeraj Chopra, he got the gold medal, there aren't too many hashtags around Neeraj Chopra, right? And when there weren't too many hashtags, people started creating those hashtags around him, right? Neeraj Chopra, the golden arm, or something like that. And some of these hashtags started trending then, because Neeraj Chopra, or that person, was in news. He was already in news. He was a hot topic, in trend, right? Trend. So on social media, there's one more thing that we should always be on lookout for, is something known as trends. Now, if you go to Google on your smartphone, right? Google straight away shows trends now. Just below that little box wherein you search, it says all the trends. What is it that people are interested in? What is it that people are searching? So when you see those trends, and if there's some keyword that you can pick from there, and if there aren't too many hashtags around it, then of course you can create a hashtag. Then that might be of benefit. Why? Because that's in trend, no hashtags, you match it up, bang on, you win. But it doesn't happen every day. Yes, Asim.
Nitin, I just want to, because I saw chat box, there are 4-5 people ask this question because they are in B2B, and you said that for B2B, LinkedIn is a better platform. And yes, I do understand that. You told me also. And in B2B, you need to build branding around yourself as a leader, and you need to build branding around your product or services in a very subtle way. Now, the question which Shruti and other people asked, Rajesh Katyal sir also asked, the question is that generally to boost on your post on LinkedIn to reach to relevant target clients which you think, it's a little complicated and expensive. So I think the question is around, is it worth, or how can we take mileage out of LinkedIn boosting?
Okay.
Because they charge per click and they charge per view, and generally it's damn expensive as compared
to a bomb rather.
It's a bomb as compared to Instagram or Facebook, which is easier. So how do we do that? One side you are saying B2B guys should use LinkedIn, and on the other side, LinkedIn is a bloody damn expensive place. So how do I get mileage out of it? I think this will cover. Rajesh sir, is the question? Yeah, he said yes is the question. Okay, great.
Isn't that incredible to have Asim there? Because he just reads people's mind and asks those amazing questions that we have at the back of our mind. Asim, on behalf of everyone, thank you so much. That was indeed an excellent question, right? So, yes. So here is what we need to do. I suggest you don't need to spend a lot. You don't need to even spend on LinkedIn. LinkedIn again is competing. So, there's so much competition now between all of these social media platforms. And now with this Clubhouse coming in, there's new kid in the town, which is Clubhouse. So Clubhouse coming in, what is happening here is that all of these social media platforms are under pressure. So LinkedIn is also under pressure. LinkedIn has clearly identified that Instagram and YouTube, both of these platforms, they are themselves promoting content. They are promoting it. You put something meaningful, few people like it. Within 10 minutes, you see Instagram, 2,000 videos. You don't even have 200 followers, right? But views are 2,000 happening on Instagram. LinkedIn as a platform has observed this, is observing this. And lately what we have observed is LinkedIn also is an amazing platform. If you are relatively active, posting content and tagging the right set of people and tagging the right set of brands. Okay. So on LinkedIn, there is this option to tag people. There is this option to tag brands. And there is this option of all of that, like stories, of course. LinkedIn, if you want to be successful on LinkedIn, there are a couple of suggestions. Number one, be very, very active as far as your stories are concerned. What are stories? Stories are updates that you do not want to be shown on your posts that are permanent, but you just want it time sensitive, right? Something happening, and you just want to share it as a story on your platform, on your account, on your profile. So in order to be successful on LinkedIn, couple of suggestions. Number one, be very, very active on your stories. Number one. Number two, as a brand owner, the whatever brand that you own, your profile, over 80% of users on LinkedIn, they don't even have a complete profile. LinkedIn is only going to promote those profiles that are complete. Make a note of this. You go to your LinkedIn, you will yourself see LinkedIn telling you your profile is incomplete. It will give you those little bars and will say, hey, hello, I've been reminding you it's 60%, make it 100%. Unless and until you do it, LinkedIn is not going to promote you. If you want LinkedIn to promote, that's number two. Number three, when you are putting anything on LinkedIn, what is working exceptionally well on LinkedIn these days are stories. If you have some stories to share, anything that is happening during the day that you want to share, something that inspired you, anything, any stories of your customers, of people around you, your story, anything. The more stories you put, in what format, Nitin? Video, pictures, text. Picture plus text. Make a note of this. A picture and a detailed story, a lengthy story around that picture. Boy, that's going to give you results. LinkedIn is primarily a platform of intellectual people, intellectual community, as in people who are relatively serious than as compared to Facebook and Instagram. And when they see a picture, and on LinkedIn, when I'm saying stories, that picture that you are putting has to be little attractive. There was a study that was done, and it says you only have 3 damn seconds to grab someone's attention on social media. That's true for Facebook, that's true for Instagram, that's true for LinkedIn. You have only 3 seconds, because within 3 seconds, the person would be able to scroll down to some other posts. How much time do you spend on each post, right? You keep scrolling as if the thumb is not even in your control. And you keep scrolling down. And then the moment you see something interesting, you just stop and you go back to it. That picture that just hooked you. So you have 3 seconds to grab someone's attention on a platform like LinkedIn specifically. 3 seconds, the picture has to be attractive. Nitin, what do you mean? Like, you want me to put, every time I'm putting on LinkedIn, do you want me to come up with an attractive picture? No, I'm not saying that. But even if 1 post out of 10 is attractive enough, interesting enough, grabbing someone's attention, you have done your job. So what is it I've said? Number 1, put stories on LinkedIn. Stories. There are not too many people putting stories. Okay, make a note of this. Stories is something that came from Instagram. Stories is something that you acquired and acquired. Okay, just complete that. So stories is something that came from Instagram. YouTube acquired, then LinkedIn acquired, right? So this audience on LinkedIn, all of us, I would say, we are not too active as far as stories are concerned. And hence those profiles that are active on stories stand out. And that is the reason why you need to be active on stories. That's number 1. Number 2, your profile has to be complete. It has to be complete. If it's not complete, chances are very less that LinkedIn is going to promote you. And number 3, post attractive stuffs and stories. Yes, Asim.
I would just, want to add on to this, guys. I think 2 months back, Nitin shared this with me. We were traveling to Chandigarh on a session together, and he shared this with me. And I started using stories on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, as well as on WhatsApp. And trust me, it has created a huge impact. Like if you look at yesterday, it's my son's birthday, and I put just a story about him on WhatsApp as well as on LinkedIn and other Insta, Facebook and all. I got so many people wishes more, which I would have not got, right? And we had a program recently about our own company's Founders Day, and I put a small story on that. It works wonder. Try this, guys. Just put picture, just put message, and you will see that.
I completely agree to that.
I have one more question attached to this one. Nitin, can stories be put via individual profiles only, or from business profiles also we can post the stories, business pages on LinkedIn?
Well, I believe that the individual profiles are the ones that are able to post stories.
No, but now page and company
Both,
profile is also allowed.
Great. There could be this update. So yes, both of them is allowed now.
Okay.
Perfect. Now, what Aseem said, right? This is amazing. So what I've noticed is that, let's say, for example, you are traveling. And when you're traveling, you meet somebody. It could just be anybody, any random person. You click a picture with him and post a little story. You will see amazing interaction that people would be doing with you. So this is the suggestion, put stories. I hope that somewhat answers the question around what you need to do around LinkedIn. Well, my suggestion, you don't need to spend too much, and you shouldn't, because LinkedIn advertising is pretty costly. LinkedIn advertising, as compared to other social media platforms, is a bit costly. So you have to also look at your ROI. That is something that your team can do. Whenever we talk about advertising, we never say that you straight away burn 10 lakhs into your advertising and then see what is the result that you're getting. No way. You spend something that you can very comfortably spend. Let's say a 5K or a 10K or a 20K. You take that amount and you spend that, and you see if you're getting ROI, if you're getting results, continue spending. Otherwise, stop it. Okay. Never put a heavy budget straight away whenever you are talking about advertising. There's one more thing that I want to.
Here I have one more question about the budget thing.
Yes.
So is there a kind of a threshold after which only the investment becomes effective? Like if you keep on spending every month below that threshold, it will never turn out. Is there a concept like that, or it's just fake?
No. There's no concept like that. Absolutely not. In fact, the social media platforms, let's talk about Google for that matter. So Google says, here is your 2,000 rupees. In fact, LinkedIn also says that. LinkedIn says, do you want to start with advertising? Here's your 2,500 rupees coupon. I'm going to credit 2,500 rupees into your account. Google says, I'm going to credit 2,000 rupees in your account. Okay. So you go to Google right now. If you search Google Ads, you'll get something, something there. They'll say, Google says, I'm going to credit 2,000 rupees into your account. So Google is not saying 20,000. 50,000, no threshold as such. So Google knows that even if you spend 2,000, the money that I'm giving to you, even if you spend 2K, the social media platforms they're pretty sure that you'll get good ROI. Even if you make anything above 2,000, that's well worth it. And then you can increase the spending. So to answer your question, no threshold, start off with a lower amount and then you scale it up. You always, there's a rule for advertising. You always start with a very low, comfortable budget. Then you scale it up. Okay. Because there's a lot of testing that needs to be done. Whenever you are advertising on social media, the advertising is going to take people to a website. Now, sometimes we end up blaming the advertising, but it could just be the fault of your website. Are you getting me? So hence, we have to be very careful in our testing. So then you have to do multiple testings, right? So same advertisements, people are going to two different websites. That is known as A/B testing. So this A/B testing is also very important for decision makers. And then you see, the fault was on website, not on the advertising, or maybe not on the platform. Another thing, you might put some money, you might put some budget behind your advertising, let's say for on LinkedIn. But it could just be the fault of the creative or the message or the video that you are putting your money on, right? That could just be not even attractive. But we end up blaming LinkedIn and we say, LinkedIn is not performing well for us. Well, it wasn't LinkedIn. There are other brands that are making money on LinkedIn. It could just be the creative, the picture, the post, the video, or the content that you posted there and you put your money behind, right? So that is also again a part of testing. So please make a note if you're taking notes here. A/B testing. We call it A and B testing, right? So everything else remains the same. You just change one parameter and you make a shift. You say, I'm going to test 2. So always make sure that whenever you are advertising, specifically, I want to share this with people who are advertising. Are you doing A/B testing or not? Right? A/B testing for your creatives, for your messages, for your websites, for your offers, all of that put together. You've got to do A/B testing. Only and only then you'll be able to optimize. You'll be able to optimize your spending. Okay. All right. So yes, absolutely. Great. Thank you very much for putting that, Asim. Well, see, I tell you, both of these platforms like Twitter as well as LinkedIn, as far as paid advertisements are concerned, they aren't really popular. They are not. And why they're not popular is because there are very few brands that were able to click as far as their advertising is concerned on these platforms. And hence people, and most of the brands, they spend a lot of money on YouTube and on Instagram. These are two brands, two platforms wherein people spend their money. Okay. If there's any questions specifically around advertising as well, because I believe some of you would be spending a lot of money around ads, then you may feel free to put that in the chat box and I'll see if I'm able to answer. Okay. Now, SEO is something that I wish to talk about. SEO, search engine optimization. What is search engine optimization? Well, search engine optimization, that is again, see Sandeep ji, my suggestion as far as targeting your choosing your target audience is concerned for advertising, my suggestion would be A/B testing. There again, A/B testing. So you run an ad specifically targeting this segment, you run another ad and you target the another segment and see what is the ROI, what is the response, what is the result, and then you keep testing, and eventually you will arrive at a sphere when you'll see that, okay, this is the target audience that's performing really well for us. Social media, digital marketing, as in specifically advertising, is all about testing. All about testing. Okay. Right. So SEO, search engine optimization. Over the years, search engine optimization has changed. What is search engine optimization, by the way? Search engine optimization, by the way, what is search engine? Search engine, there are two search engines right now. Can anybody tell me the first one we all know? Which one is the second search engine in the world right now? One, of course, we all know. Which one is the second one?
Bing.
Okay, so Bing is there, Yahoo is there. Any other guesses? There's probably one more search engine, which is the world's #2 search engine right now, performing far better than Yahoo and Bing put together. The answer is YouTube. The answer is YouTube. If you have to search something today, where do you go? People have shifted, even I'm saying shifted from Google to YouTube, right? So if you have to search anything today, people search it on YouTube. Why? Because YouTube is a video platform. The way it appeals to us is far better than us reading a text on Google, right? So there are two search engines. One search engine is Google, another is YouTube. The good news is they're owned by the same people, right? So when you talk about search engine optimization, and I'm sure some of you would have teams that be working on search engine optimization today. There are a lot of updates that came in from Google, and these updates made all these people who were doing SEO for decades. It made one thing clear, which was that Google today, as far as search engine optimization is concerned, prefers brands. And I'm going to tell you what exactly do I mean when I'm saying brands. This is very important for us to understand here now. See, brands in Google search engine, specifically for search engine perspective, brand is something that has good amount of social media followers. Brand is something that is active on social media. If your website, so how this search engine optimization works, Google, it's going to crawl. It's going to crawl your website. Okay. And then once it crawls your website, the bots that it has, it's going to crawl your website and look for those social media links on your website. The moment it finds that there is this link, which is YouTube, bang on, it will just jump onto YouTube, and it would check if you have enough videos, how many people are watching these videos, what are some of the metrics, how many people are there as subscribers. If there is LinkedIn, it will jump onto LinkedIn and it will see how many people are following this brand. What sort of posts that this brand is putting? How active is the brand? How are people engaging with the brand on its post? So now SEO, search engine optimization, which was up until few years ago was working and operating as a standalone stuff. Only SEO. People were working in giving a lot of backlinks, doing on-page SEO, off-page SEO. Well, over the years, now the first thing that Google gives preference to in order to rank your website up is your solid social media presence. And that again, it brings us back to the original topic. You got to be taking social media seriously. You got to be active on social media. You got to be gaining followers. That is indeed one of the core jobs, one of the core departments that every single brand got to focus on, right? Okay, A/B testing means making two groups, A and B, and test and see what brings better results for your needs. I gather this. Is it so? Absolutely, Asim. Absolutely. Testing two parameters, right? As I said, so you run an advertisement, the advertisement remains the same, but where it is leading people to, as in the website, there are two websites. So 50% traffic going to website A, 50% traffic going to website B, and you see which website is performing well. B, then you reject A and you have B. Now, what do? You continue with B. No, then your B becomes your A. And then you bring in another website, which is C. And now you compare B and C. So you keep doing this A/B testing eventually, and then you keep on optimizing, keep on optimizing.
So, Nitin, I think this subject is very vast. People who are present here at a different level of their understanding,
Yeah.
So what we can do is, looking at the time frame right now, what we can do, I'm sure, Vivek, you have collated some questions which can cover answers for everybody. Vivek, if you can ask those questions. Yes. And after those questions, in case any of you have another question, you can ask Vivek. And then towards end, I will share with you that if you want to know more, how you can reach out to Nitin.
Yes, Vivek.
Yeah. Vivek.
So first of all, I would like to say that Nitin has been kind enough to answer the questions on the spot by reading all the questions in the chat box. But still, I have got a few questions to ask Nitin. So Nitin, one question is that, are there any apps available to create content and post on social media?
If there are any apps available to create content.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or to pictures, or to, those quotations and everything,
Yeah. Memes, etc. Like there are lots of.
I'm sure there must be. I'll tell you, I'm sure there must be, but there is no such app that I have ever used, or I have ever seen any social media influencer using for their postings on social media. So I've not seen that. The reason is, of course. See, these are most of the tools that are available for editing your content, right? For example, so let's say when you say apps, creating content is something else and editing content is something else. You have the content, either the video or the picture. If you want to edit the video, the free app that is available is InShot, InShot. InShot is a free application. I use it. I recommend it. Go and grab it. It's going to be great. You shoot a video and within 5 seconds, you can edit it in InShot and it's ready for uploading on social media. Number two, in case you are using, you need any application to edit your pictures, that's of course is Canva. So Canva is an excellent free tool that you can use to edit your pictures. But to create content, no, you got to.
Nitin, once I remember you shared about Fiverr, that for your articles and all, if you want to use, you don't have time, you can just write to Fiverr, and in $5, somebody can write content for you and do it. Is it good or
Absolutely. Not? Indeed. Absolutely correct. There are two freelancer platforms that are very, very popular. There's an army of freelancers from across the globe who are waiting for you to give them some work around your social media. One platform is Fiverr, Fiverr. Another is Upwork. So Fiverr, of course, is a $5 platform, hence it's known as Fiverr. So you can, hire somebody for $5, just $5, and they can create meaningful content for you. And another is Upwork. That's again a good question. So yes, these are meaningful and you must know them. Next question, sir.
Okay. So another question is like, we have been talking about which platforms to use for social media. So for optimal use of social media, are there any big no platforms also, like where we should not spend our energy and money?
है कुछ अभी अभी क्लब हाउस की जरूरत नहीं है अभी I think this you see, you got to be there on Twitter, but you can just post every now and then. I've not seen Twitter giving as good a response as LinkedIn or Instagram might give. So I'm not saying don't be there, but at least be there and have a you may decide not to give too much energy. That is my suggestion. Clubhouse is something that you can ignore as of now.
It depends on the type of business also, as you mentioned.
100%, 200%, 200%.
Got it. And next question I have is, can we use social media for post-sales customer support also? Along with, will that also be adding to our branding if we are available for support on social media?
So now, there is, you see, when you say, so of course, let's say I have this laptop. Now I've purchased this laptop and I need some support. I need some help. How do I reach out to the brand? Either I go to Google and find their website and find their contact details. It would be great if I'm already following the brand on social media, if I could just go to their page or go to their profile and I can just drop a message. And the message says, hi, I need some help with one of the products that I purchased. And there is an automatic chatbots. Now you may want to make a note of this. There's something known as chatbots, which is again, auto messenger, automatically sending messages. You don't need to make somebody sit down and chat. So
Nitin, Vivek is a co-founder of a chatbox company. They have created a chatbox.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, that's the chatbot company. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So that's what you need to do. And the chatbot says, welcome. Do you need, are you a new customer or do you need support with an existing product that you have purchased? You say existing product. You click on it. It says, great. Just choose what sort of help do you need? A, B, C. You say C. Great. We'll be giving you, put your number. Where do you want us to call? And then you put the number and says, great. One of our executive will call you in 60 minutes after sales supports. Chatbots is the answer.
Okay. Okay. Then the other question I have is, which are the top effective apps for social media? Like, for example, email marketing has a very less effectiveness today. It's around 2%. And like writing blogs, when we say about the frequency of 100 posts, so are blogs still effective? Writing blogs on the website and things like that.
It is effective, 100%. Content, as in blogging, content on your website is critical. When I was talking about SEO, I think I missed this point. It is also about how big your website is. Big is in the sense, how many pages there, how many blog posts, how many updates, how much content it's there. Is it a brand? Is it a big brand, like a big mall or not? Or is it just a landing page, right? So that's again, so of course you need to have blog posts, content on your website. And so you were also
effective apps, like top 3 effective media.
You were also, yeah. So you also said that email marketing is not effective. You said 2%. I want to just highlight the best ROI, the money that you get by investing $1 across the globe. This research has proved email marketing has performed far better than any of the social media platforms there. Yes. So email marketing, there is no way that you're going to ignore email marketing. Why? Because every single one of us, we are on emails. Okay. We might have not checked our Facebook account in the last 10 days, but in the last 10 days, we might have checked our email more than 1,000 times. Right. And yet again, If there is no email, we keep refreshing it. Where's the new email? Where's the new email? Is my internet working fine? If my email is working fine, where's the new email? It's been evening now. I haven't got any new email. We panic, right? So, yes.
Is there any good email marketing app? Nitin, there are many, but what you would recommend?
See, the one that we use and recommend is, of course, ConvertKit. ConvertKit is good. But again, it varies on it. It would vary from what sort of database do we have. If we have a big database of, let's say, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 5 lakh people, then it's going to be way too expensive. So it also depends. You have to do a trade-off. There's a lot of them are there. Active Campaign is pretty good. Active Campaign is
constant
of course
contact,
definitely.
constant
Huh?
contact,
It is,
constant contact.
it is
Mailchimp
good. Yeah. And in fact, now these email marketing programs have this inherent CRM mechanism, like Entreport, right? It's an inherent CRM mechanism. So you can link it with your sales team. So the moment, you're sending out an email, somebody responding back, bang on, you see it is relevant. The sales team can grab the customer, call them. It's pretty interesting how email marketing has shaped up over the years. Yes, Vivek.
So last two
There is
questions.
Vivek, there is another good question Rajesh Katyal has asked in the chat box.
Too much of social media and too much content may give indication that you are not doing well. Is that a thought? Is that
What
correct?
is the question is we need to define what is too much.
Too much. Yeah.
10 post a day, 20 post a day, 30 post a day, 40 post, what is too much? If there is that number, do -1 and still continue posting on a lighter note.
Okay. Got it. So post as much as you can, again, still holds
True for all
Yeah.
of us.
So one more question here. 3 things to do for B2B brand building on social media.
First of all, it's not just about the brand, it's also about you as the founder, as the owner. It's not just about your brand. It's not just about your social media team taking care of your brand's social media account on social media. No. It's also about you. Very, very important. The founder, right? The CEO, the decision makers, the management. So it is very important that you have to be there on social media. That's number 1, very critical. Number 2 suggestion, as many posts as possible. That's very important on social media, right? And number 3, A/B testing. You got to test, right? If you see your stories are performing well, don't put too many quotations, continue with stories. If you see that your personal stuff is performing well, just like Asim said, a birthday picture with his kid, well, if that's performing well, you see what people are interested in. And then see the next time when you are having your lunch in a restaurant, put a picture, right? Put a picture. People are interested. That's number 3.
Okay, got it. So
I think another very good thing works for B2B is any client testimonial. Any client has said good about you, and if you have posted that and client writes on your LinkedIn, that's the best thing which can happen.
That's absolutely one of the best things that you can do. And you should consider investing good amount of money in creating a studio type, videos. Maybe have a set up at your place, or maybe having a team that goes out and calls these customers. And these videos would be like cinematic, if possible. That's future. Cinematic videos. When you show, just like, you watch, KBC, somebody's coming, they show their background and show all of that. Why? This is so attractive. People like that. All of these, these programs on dancing, they show the story of the person who is there on stage. And just like for your brand as well, I suggest that you should do that. You should have these cinematic videos, if possible, from your customers. Shoot them, talk about them, show their journey. People are just going to fall in love with it. I believe it answers all questions. Any specific question, Asim, and I'll be happy to take. Otherwise, I believe that it was time well spent together. I just hope that.
Absolutely.
Yes, it was. Absolutely.
Okay, guys. So I think if there are no more questions, and even if there are questions, we can always share on our group and we can pass it on to Nitin. Nitin, thank you very much. I think time is well spent, but time looked like a little. So we could have got more time. If we should have more time, we could have asked more questions and maybe would have gone in depth with you, because I understand that there is a huge learning we guys need to do on digital marketing and social media. The kind of questions we asked, I could feel that we are at a very beginning stage of this, this whole magic called digital marketing and social media. Now, guys, I can also share with you that Nitin also runs a lot of seminars and paid programs where he not only help you gaining knowledge, but he also helps you building your own social media website and everything. In fact, we have created a product along with Nitin, which is called your social media digital marketing audit, where whatever is in social media, we audit that, and after that we recommend you what you need to do that. So I'll share that with you. Also, I'll share credentials of Nitin. So whenever he's doing a program, you can go and follow him on social media. You can join program, and I can only assure you, I have done that program myself. And after that, my entire game about social media and digital marketing changed, and that's how we became friends. Being a consultant myself, I decided that I'm going to take Nitin's knowledge to various places. I think this is the third or fifth session, fifth or sixth session in last 1 year. Nitin is doing on community where I'm attached. It could be business community or college community. So that's how I feel I'm still learning, but you have to start this journey from somewhere.
Well, thank you so much, Aseem. Thank you so much for your kind words. It was a pleasure coming here and sharing my ideas. I'm sure it's a huge topic. Like people do 1 year, 2 year diplomas and certificate courses on digital marketing, isn't it? So it is such a vast topic, but at least my intention to come here was to ignite interest in digital marketing and social media. And if we were able to do that, I think job well done. Once again, thank you so much to you and to everybody else. Yeah.
Let's hold on. Let's take a picture, guys. If you can switch on your cameras, just one for the showstopper. Along with Nitin, please switch on your cameras. Everybody can have this picture. And also, next topic is very interesting. One of our alumni, Indrajit Nagpal, who has been studying Bhagavad Gita, and he has created an amazing parallel of Bhagavad Gita with learning of Bhagavad Gita with present management, business management, people management. He's going to talk about that on 30th of this month. Now we decide to alternate, and after that we have more sessions coming up. Okay, guys, please smile. You're on camera.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. Thank you, Nitin, once again.
Thank you. See you
soon, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks, Nitin.
Excellent.
Thanks, everyone.